for many parts of the country. The 2011 crop is ready to be harvested. And this week's Bottom Line, Neil Melancon now joins us. And of course, Neil, over the last few weeks, we've been covering how the drought and hot weather has affected crops here in Louisiana. How do crops look across the country with regard to all this heat and dry weather we've had?
Well, Mike, both corn and soybean ratings each slipped this past week, confirming the summer's toll on the crop. While periodic rains have touched the Midwest, most farmers and ag experts think they're too little too late for the crops already maturing. In its weekly crop ratings report, the USDA showed corn at 57% good to excellent this week, down 3 points from last week and well behind both last year and the 5-year average pace. Soybeans also dropped down this week from 61 to 59% good to excellent. The ratings are 5% behind last year and 3% behind the average pace. In addition, corn denting is behind last year's pace, which is probably due to some late planting that also affected pod setting for beans, also now behind last year and the average pace for beans as well. The bottom line is we'll still have a good crop this year, but it will be nowhere near the record we could use, and now we're just trying to see how big the surplus will be. Now, there's been some dropping off of export demand in recent weeks for both corn and beans, so our carryout from the previous year could be larger than expected for both crops. We still have to wait for the October reports to see actual yields and production, but even though we're speculating on the crop size right now, Mike, we know it won't be as big as it might have been.
And I guess, Neil, if there is an upside, it's the fact that commodity prices are high right now, and I guess we'll have to wait on that October report to see how things are really shaking out across the country. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Radio Network for a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online. Click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and look for the LFB radio link on the left side of the home page. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Be sure to join us next week when we'll tell you how cuts to ag programs across Louisiana and across the country are impacting everything from food prices to public safety. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.